So one of our favorite times of the year at Universal Orlando is coming up starting tomorrow, and that is Mardi Gras. On select nights from February 4th to April 16th, you can head on down to the Bayou and experience all of the Mardi Gras offerings this year at Universal Orlando Resort. And in this video, we're gonna tell you about all of them. So one of the coolest things about Mardi Gras, at least in my opinion, is the tribute store. And if you're not a Universal enthusiast and you don't know what a tribute store is, they theme a store into whatever the season is for that particular time of year. They do this for Halloween Horror Nights, they do this for Christmas, and they do it for Mardi Gras in addition to a summer tribute store that they do. And yesterday was annual pass holder preview, so I was able to go on out and get a first-hand look at this year's tribute store, which is in a brand new location. So right over my shoulder is the new home of the Universal Tribute Store. They do one of these for every season, and this is the first year that it's over here in Hollywood. It's usually over in New York next to Revenge of the Mummy, but they decided to move it over here this year. So let's go inside and get a little bit of a preview of this year's Mardi Gras Tribute Store. So here we go. We are stepping inside the brand new tribute store. First thing we see is the sign for the Ambassador Ballroom. Looks like there's a little bit of a front desk reception welcome area. It says, "Welcome world travelers to the Ambassador Ballroom, live music nightly." And the tribute store is usually home to all of the merchandise for that year's event, or that season's event, I should say. And here's a quick little preview of some of the merchandise that they have. Looks like they have some cups, some Mardi Gras t-shirts. Of course, you have no shortage of beads. A drawstring bag. That's actually nice quality. It's not like your typical drawstring bag. There's some hats and some candles. We have some more t-shirts. Looks like they have a new Mardi Gras scented candle. There's some more bucket hats. So if you're into bucket hats, you have two different options, unless this is reversible. Let's see. Oh, it is. So it's actually a reversible bucket hat. A crossbody bag, mask bag. Some more t-shirts and accessories down here. And there is so much merchandise. I don't think we're gonna run through all of the merchandise today. We'll come back on the first day of Mardi Gras and give you guys a little bit of a deeper dive. But look at just some of the theming up here. They have all the different signs up on this second balcony. Look at that. Carnival. And there it is. Here is the live music at the Ambassador. It has all the instruments synonymous with New Orleans and Mardi Gras. You have some trumpets, some horns, a drum set up there. It's really cool. Look at this piano over here with the musician's coat just draped over it. There's some more musical instruments in the background over there as well. There's some notes over here, some posters. An evening of jazz at the Ambassador Ballroom presented by the American Ambassador Ballroom Players. And then there's a note here. It says, "Dear Mr. Earl, the honor would be entirely mine if you could attend my little carnival party." I wonder if they're inviting Earl the Squirrel. That's kind of what I'm thinking. So we're gonna exit that room and head into this next room now. And this room's theming is really cool. I feel like we stepped right into the bayou here. Look at the statues. And they have their own version of a bead tree. So if you don't know, there's a tree on your way back to the parking lot, and guests always throw their beads on it. It looks like Universal brought that into this year's tribute store. If you've been to tribute stores from other seasons, they have a little nod to Gerg the Llama. In this room, there's another nod to Halloween Horror Nights. They have an advertisement for the Black Cat Club, and you can see that Black Cat, which was a previous facade of the Horror Nights tribute store. And these are great. So this company, I don't know which company it is. Let's see. The Shirt Company. It's actually the Halloween Shirt Company. Pretty simple name for exactly what they do, but they make Halloween shirts for other seasons. So after HHN ended, they had Christmas shirts with a Halloween twist. It looks like they have one for Mardi Gras. You can see the pumpkin over there with the jester and the musician. There's another one down here where the Grim Reaper has a Mardi Gras mask. So the next room that you step into is a speakeasy. Look
how cool this is. They have more musical instruments. There's so many Easter eggs. Like, I need to really spend more time just to kind of go through all the little posters and everything that are on here. But look at all the old bottles with all the cobwebs on them. It's really, really cool. Of course, they have more merchandise in here. There's merchandise in all the rooms. Some of it's the same, some of it is different, but it is a speakeasy, like I said, and they have a full bar over here. Look at this. And behind the bar, they have bottles with all photos on it, and we will be on these shelves. We submitted our photo a little bit late, so hopefully by the end of the weekend, it'll be up. But if you come here, you might be able to see us on the shelf. Keep an eye out. And on the shelf, there's a little memo here. It says, "What's the password?" And that is what the team member asks you before you walk in here. And it's kind of a little bit of a nod to Spirits of the Coven, which was a Halloween Horror Nights house. Because before you walked in that house, there was someone asking you what the password was. The registers are all the way at the end, so even if you buy treats, you'll come over and get them and pay at the register. I do like the fact that it is taking up 3 storefronts, so it's pretty big in there. The only concern that I have is that there's only 3 registers at the end, and in that last room it's very, very tight and narrow. So if it's a busy day in there, kind of getting out is going to be a little bit difficult. Also, if you're buying anything, you might have to wait a little while because there's only 3 registers. At least there was only 3 there today. Maybe they'll open up a couple more if it's busy. But that's my only really negative that I can say about this year's tribute store. I think compared to last year's, I do like last year's better. I like the overall theme of it, but I do like how they use the space for this year. So I'm excited to see if it stays here in Hollywood, how they utilize this for Halloween Horror Nights, how do they utilize this for Christmas. I think this is a good location.
And if you're going to Mardi Gras this year, make sure you check out the parade. It is every night except for on March 31st, but it is one of our absolute favorite things to do at Mardi Gras. And something else that they do really cool is that you can sign up to go on the floats and throw beads to everybody watching the parade.
Yeah, if you were an annual pass holder, you were able to do this in advance. If you are not a pass holder, they do have a limited number of spots that they release every day via like a virtual queue. So if you're in the park that day and you want to partake in that, just check the app because they do refresh every once in a while. It is limited, so just keep that in mind. But if you're able to snag it, it's a really, really cool experience. You get to go on the parade float, throw the beads out, and you're basically like a parade performer for the night.
I've been wanting to do this since we went to Mardi Gras last year, so I am really excited that we got to do it this year.
So if you weren't lucky enough to get a slot during the pass holder openings, or if you're having a hard time when you're in the park, there is a special add-on experience that you can do this year, and that is the Mardi Gras Float, Ride, and Dine experience. It's select dates February 4th to April 16th, and you get a reserved spot on the parade float, as well as a 3-course meal from one of 4 restaurants at Universal Orlando Resort, and those restaurants are Finnegan's and Lombard's within Universal Studios Florida, and Cowfish and NBC Sports Grill and Bar out at Universal CityWalk, and it is $84.99 plus tax per guest. And one of my favorite parts about the parade is the floats. I mean, if you have not seen these floats that Universal rolls out for their Mardi Gras parade, it is like next level.
Yeah.
They are so big, there's so many of them, and you really get a sense of how big they are because they all hold the bead throwers.
Yeah.
And there's so many of them on there.
And the one that they do every year, I believe, is the crocodile at the end.
Yes.
And they just put so much detail and energy into making these floats, and it's always so cool to see like the different theme each year. And like Matt said, like they are huge.
Yeah, the parade is just such a really good time. So if you're going, make sure you stick around for the parade. Do not miss it. And it is a really good time. Like the music is awesome. All the performers that we've seen in the previous parades are just like such high energy,
yeah.
And it really is a party, and you get all the beads. You get to catch a whole bunch of beads.
Yeah, and don't forget to throw your beads on the bead tree on the way to your car at the end of the night.
Yes, that is a must-do if you go into Universal. You have to pay your respects and leave a deposit at the bead tree. People that aren't like normal Universal goers always look at us and other people throwing it like, what are they doing? Like, why are they just throwing their beads off the side of the parking garage, but it is a staple for Mardi Gras.
And something that is included in your park ticket and something that's very popular every year is the concert series that they do for Mardi Gras.
Oh, yeah.
And this year, they have a pretty good lineup. I know we're definitely excited to go see Sean Paul. But some of the other performers this year are Patti LaBelle, Jake, Goo Goo Dolls, Maren Morris,
Willow, who is the daughter of Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith, Three Doors Down, Sean Paul, like I said, we're very excited to see him, and Lauren Daigle, who is a New Orleans native. And something that's interesting about the concerts this year is they end on March 5th. Normally they are extended a little bit more. So it's interesting because there's going to be like a full month of Mardi Gras where there are no concerts taking place. So just keep that in mind. If you're going after March 5th, as of right now, unless Universal drops some more performers, there will be no concerts any nights after March 5th. They're all taking place in the first month of the Mardi Gras celebration. These take place over at the Music Plaza stage. It is free and included with your park ticket. So if you want to bring like a chair or something to sit on, we recommend that because there is no seating at all for the concerts. It is standing room only. If you guys watched our New Year's Eve vlog, we spent a lot of time over by that stage, and you can get a sense of what it's like during the concerts. But just keep in mind, there are no chairs. You'll have to bring your own.
Another really fun, cool offering that they do is turning the Red Coconut Club into the Cursed Coconut Club this year for Mardi Gras.
Yeah, and I was recently at Universal CityWalk, and I got to see a little bit of what the front entrance is starting to shape up to look like.
Just at the top of the escalator at CityWalk is the Red Coconut Club. And if you've been at Universal for either the Halloween season or the Christmas season, this has received overlays. This was the Dead Coconut Club for Halloween Horror Nights. This was the Red and Green Coconut Club for Christmas. And now for Mardi Gras, it's turned into the Cursed Coconut Club. There is a look at the banners hanging outside. You have some skeletons, some voodoo dolls, some little drink picks. And one of my favorite things, without even going inside yet, is the fact that they reused the facades from Graveyard Deadly Unrest from this past year's Halloween Horror Nights. If you went to HHN or if you were in the park during the Halloween season, you might recognize some of these walls. This is where these scare actors would hide and pop out of, and it's cool to see Universal reusing the props. They look pretty much the same. Obviously they're a slightly lighter color, and then they even drew some markings, some arrows pointing into the front entrance of what's going to be the Cursed Coconut Club. That is so cool. And if you come to the Cursed Coconut Club and you find yourself a big fan, right next door is what will be the Cursed Coconut Market. And this is where you can find some themed merchandise to the Cursed Coconut Club. And this year's t-shirt design is really, really cool. And over here at the Universal Studio store, they already have the Mardi Gras merchandise out on display. And there's a lot of really cool shirts every year that they have for Mardi Gras. Some really awesome designs. It looks like they even brought back the drink holder. This started at Halloween Horror Nights. They did one for the holidays. Now it looks like they're gonna have a Mardi Gras one as well.
Now, one of the main things that everybody is excited to do at Mardi Gras is try all the different food. They set up a bunch of booths around the park, themed to all different countries, and there's just so many food and drinks that you could try.
Yeah, and there are over 50 menu items this year at Mardi Gras, and they actually extended it a little bit. There are a couple of booths over at Islands of Adventure, so if you're a foodie, I mean, this is gonna be a really, really good time.
And if you want to save a little bit of money, Universal allows you to buy a tasting card for $65, but you actually get $75 onto it.
Yeah, so if you're gonna go around and you're gonna try a bunch of food and drinks, it works on alcohol as well. You get an extra $10 if you pay up front. And I don't know about you guys, but if you go to Mardi Gras, like, you're most likely gonna spend $65, especially if you're drinking alcohol while you're there. Obviously, you know that adds up really, really quick. But even if you're just trying food items, like, that's, you know, a good 8 food items probably for $65, somewhere around there.
And if I'm not mistaken, you don't have to use it all in one shot. If
No.
you have money left over on the card and you're going to Mardi Gras another day within the season, you can use it then.
Yeah, and I believe there is an annual pass holder option for this as well, where if you spend $120, you get $150. And a little secret that you might not know, but we're gonna let you in on, is you don't have to only use it on the Mardi Gras food items. It works as a universal gift card, and it works past Mardi Gras. So even if you're local like we are, we're definitely gonna get that $120 punch card because once Mardi Gras is over, we can go use it in the Wizarding World of Harry Potter. You can use it on butterbeer, merchandise, whatever you want to use it on. So keep that in mind if you are going to be trying food and drinks at this year's festival.
And speaking of all the food and drink booths, let's take a look at some of the menus this year. They have the Belgian booth, which has different liege waffles. They have a Bloody Mary bar. They have a Brazil booth that has different like beef dishes, chicken dishes. And they do have some classic New Orleans specials like crawfish and shrimp boils and beignets.
Ooh, I mean, the beignets, we had them in the past and they weren't the best, but I heard they are generally good. So we might have just gotten a bad batch and we will be trying the beignets again, because you don't have to twist my arm to try beignets at Universal. But let's look at some of the other food booths that are there as well. There's a Colombia booth where they're gonna have empanadas. I'm very curious to see how that compares with the empanadas that they have over at Festival of the Arts at Disney. Of course, the fan favorite Twisted Taters are back at the French Quarter booth. The Germany booth has something that I'm interested in trying, and that is the chicken schnitzel. It's a fried chicken thigh cutlet with beer cheese sauce. That sounds really, really good. They also have potato pancakes there. There is so much food. It's hard to go through every single menu because there are dozens and dozens of menus.
The ube ice cream is back.
The ube ice cream is back. That's gonna be over at the Japan booth. They're gonna have ube ice cream sesame bubble waffle cone.
That was one of my favorite things last year. I don't know if it was exactly the same as this one because I don't think it had cookie crumbles last year.
And I don't think it had Pocky in it either.
Yeah, but I am so excited because that ube ice cream was delicious.
That was really, really good. And the Japan booth is actually gonna be over where the Meats booth was for Halloween Horror Nights. So that was like the one booth they didn't really deconstruct. And that was because they were using it for Japan for Mardi Gras. So that's where that's gonna be. Over at the Italy booth, they have a tour of Italy arancini flight, which is tomato basil with marinara, mushroom with garlic cream sauce, and seafood served with basil pesto. That sounds interesting. We might have to try that. But this is what I'm really interested in. They have a gelato stuffed pressed brioche. It's an ice cream sandwich in brioche bread. I mean, how good does that sound?
That sounds like what's at Les Artisans de Glace in Epcot that
Yeah.
I've always wanted to try and we haven't tried it yet.
And there's 3 flavors to choose from. There's Oreo and mint, Nutella and vanilla. Ooh, that's like it sounds like a rap group.
Yeah.
Nutella and vanilla and strawberry.
Oh, I'm so excited to try that.
Yeah, that is definitely gonna be good. And like I said, there are so many different options. We can't go through every single menu, but we'll put some of them on the screen as we're talking just so you guys can get a sense of what is gonna be at the festival and where. But yeah, I am very, very excited to try some of the food. There's some fan favorites that we like from years past that are coming back, and then there's a few new things that we definitely want to try. So if you're going to Mardi Gras, come hungry because there are so many food booths. As I was walking around, it was like every 10 feet there was a different booth. And everything sounded good.
I know, I'm so excited to try all of the food and we'll definitely take you guys along to show you what we like and what is not so good.
Yeah, so we will be there not the first day, we will be there the second day, which is gonna be Sunday. So a couple of days after you're watching this video. So if you're not already subscribed, subscribe down below so you don't miss out on our full vlog of Mardi Gras. We're gonna cover a bunch of the food, we're gonna cover the parade.
Yeah.
We'll go in the tribute store and check out some more merchandise, maybe pick up a couple of things, and then we're gonna have a whole slew of Mardi Gras videos to come because obviously you can't try all the food in one shot.
Yeah.
And we are going back to do the bead throwing, and that's gonna be really fun.
And to see Sean Paul.
Yeah. So as you can see, there are a lot of reasons to check out Mardi Gras at Universal this year. So we hope you guys enjoyed this preview, and remember Mardi Gras starts tomorrow at the Universal Orlando Resort. It runs until April 16th. And we will have multiple videos out highlighting the event, showing you what food is good, what food to avoid, how to get the best spots for the parade, all the tips and tricks so that when you go, you have the best time that you could possibly have. So if you guys enjoyed this video and you found it helpful, make sure you give it a nice big thumbs up. Subscribe down below if you are new. And with that being said, we'll see you at Mardi Gras this year at Universal Orlando Resort.